Hi, this is a price action analyst. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is a analysis of UTK and EOS. They were some requests from subscribers for a price action analysis. So this is EOS. These are daily bars. So this EOS has quite a rich price action history, relatively speaking anyways. So these prior lows here, prices sort of come below those, and that's where it's consolidated. Sorry, and then it's gone down and to another level and consolidated there. So you know, up until now, that's pretty dead price action. Well, relative to what we're looking for uptrends. So not only did this consolidate, I mean, it broke out there, but when it came back inside, it's consolidated on a lower level. So you know, that's why this coin's not in the model portfolio, because it's not uptrending relative to Bitcoin. Just looking previously here. So this the red dotted line is current price, and so that's where we are now. And so I'm just looking back to see, it's always interests me, you know, where the last pocket of air was. And it was, you know, right there. And that is where price is now. And so it's just, it's not, there's nothing specific about that. It just lends more evidence to the fact that, you know, if this might be the low before price pushes up again, you know, because this was the last kind of place of untested air, and then it's got the last sort of big pivot too. So if we go forward, you know, that's right where price is now. Just interesting, that's all. I find that interesting. And so, you know, given that historical context where that's errors in the consolidation, and look, price has made an attempt to push down a couple of times here, and what's it left? It's left big wicks. So that all is interesting, and again, it's more evidence now with this push up and this volume spike that you might be looking at the lowest level of consolidation, right? So we got a you know, a decent size push relative to the price here and volume spike. So it's possible now that this is the beginning of an uptrend. So price is now, you know, for a long time it's generally been going down. You know, the premise here has been down. It's been going from resistance to support. It's been like meandering between, but it's been going to consecutively lower levels. So this might be an end to all of that. So the way that you will, when this is definitively in an uptrend, you want to see higher highs. So you'll see, and we'll get into where I think that might happen, but you'll see a push up that will break this high and a retest of the high and another push up. And when it does that, that's in an uptrend. So I don't know, maybe you can argue that an uptrend starts before that, but for me, when that happens, this is now definitively uptrending. So this is possibly an opportunity to catch it early, that's all. And again, this is not something that's in my model portfolio yet, but if, you know, for the person that has asked about this coin, they're obviously either in it or looking to get in it. So See, so this is nothing, it's just a coincidence, but that area of error that we marked with this green line all the way back, that happens to be the exact same place where the error started here. It's just interesting. Interesting. So you've gone from support to resistance, come back, it's inside support, and so look for an entry signal anywhere between these two green lines. And so you would drill down to the hourly, or you can go to half hourly bars or whatever. And I would look at what's happening with this downtrend here. So, you know, price could roll back and come back here, but this is starting to add weight to the fact that this might be the low, and you're kind of, that's air there. See how you get the buying support off the air. And so if it gets down here, you'll get, you know, buying pressure off that too. But I suspect this isn't gonna get down here. So I think the safest way to play this is to wait for price to break out, and just the retrace doesn't have to test this line, but just the retrace, just hit the retrace long. So just wait. That way you don't get suckered. You know, if you buy it here, you could get suckered into another push down. Wait for it to conclusively push out of here, and then it should, higher probability, make some sort of a retrace, even if it's just a wick, even if it's, you know, let's say this is the breakout out of that line, and then the next candle does that and leaves a wick. Just buy it as it comes down against that. It doesn't have to be much of a retrace, but those pink lines are kind of, you know, the push out, and any price action that comes back towards this pink line, just buy it. That would be how I would play that. And so what you're doing is you're taking a bet on the fact that this is going to make another leg up, and I think that's likely. I think, you know, that is very likely with this. You're probably seeing the Bitcoin run play into that too, because this is a Bitcoin pair. So yeah, you could give that a go. And then, you know, if it does what I said regarding being in an uptrend, then you probably might see that in the model portfolio at some stage, because that's you know, once that's uptrending, you're very early on in the piece. You know, if that is going to uptrend and start to retrace this historical price action, this is a very early entry. And so this is all happening between 268 and 278, say. So I'll leave that there. That is EOS. The next one is UTK. This one is in my model portfolio. So so this started off and basically just consolidated, basically. And then it's had the big push off with the volume spike. So, you know, sorry, just getting back to the last one, you know, you push out that retrace, you know, when you get these pushes out. So if it's coming out of that trend thing, just any sort of pushback, you just want to buy it. And if there's a wick on the retrace, just, if you can, buy it within that wick. But sorry, just getting back to UTK. So it's pushed out of here on high volume. And so that, sorry, that was the other thing I was going to say. This push out and that retrace, you're hitting that long. This is the beginning of the uptrend. So, you know, that as it starts to move, the second leg moves up. That's the beginning of your uptrend. And it took time, like it took its time. Here was the new high, you know, but it's, you know, it's making higher highs. It's uptrending. And so over time, I have framed up that price action in those parallel lines. And so, yeah, the uptrend's strong, and then it's pushed outside of that uptrend, which is, you know, even stronger. So overall, this is looking very strong. And given that push, again, you've got very strong momentum up and then not very strong momentum down, and it's leaving wicks here. So this looks very, I think this is in the model portfolio with a buy recommendation. If it's not a buy recommendation, it's close to entry, because this is what it looks like when it's going to push higher. This is a very weak retrace. And see these wicks up here? They're not that big like those other ones I pointed out in the previous video. You know, the wicks are a lot bigger. So this looks like strength. This looks like this is going to push out of here. And so if we come down to the hourly chart, and it has moved up. When I was looking at this a little while ago, it's, you know, it's pushed up from here. So this looks like it's going to push out of here fairly soon. Again, up, and this is just consolidating. So the way I would play this is so you've got air here. See how the wicks have come close to the air, and that's where you've had the push off. And then they've sort of held this trend line, and this, you know, price might not come back and test. I would say if you'll be lucky if you get a retrace to 1681 or 1670 to 1700. You'll be lucky. I would just hit that right there. The risk is it goes further against you, but this is indicating that it's probably not gonna do that. This trend line's likely to hold. Again, our bias is up, so you could either, you know, these are hourly bars. Watch how far this goes. You know, if this reverses and makes a buying bar, I would just buy it. But if it goes down here, just watch for either a wick or a buying bar and just buy it. But you know, it's a difference between 1807 and 1750, maybe 1700. So I mean, that's up to you. That depends on your risk profile, but that looks very close. You know, within that you've had up strength. This was quite a strong downward momentum up, and then look at the next leg of downward momentum. It's not as strong, and then the push up is strong. So you might get a little bit of a retrace here, but I would just, anywhere in there, I would probably just get long. So that's UTK. That looks very good. And again, I've only had that small cap model portfolio in it for tonight. Was the first night it went out, but that went out with a buy recommendation. That one looks pretty good. And again, you know, these wicks are very, you know, this wick here, even though it didn't hold, you know, look, it's washed that, and look what's happened every time it's washed. So that's very indicative that that's going to push out of here. So expect new highs with the UTK very soon. Anyways, I'll leave it there. I hope that is helpful. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.